Hello everybody, it's Amanda from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk and today I'm going to show you how I've made this lovely dimensional star box. I'm just holding those on because they're not actually glued down. So without further ado, let me show you what we need. Now before I start, if you miss any of the measurements or I talk a little bit too fast, I always put them on my blog over at scrimpingmommy.co.uk and I always leave a link in the description box below, so all you need to do is click on it and it will take you straight there. Okay, so what you need first of all are 2 pieces of sturdy DSP. This is a speciality paper, so it's foiled on one side. It's from the Blooming Love and it's quite sturdy. If you don't have quite a sturdy DSP, use cardstock. So we've got 2 of these and they both measure 5 1/4 by 6 inches. Okay, and the first thing we need to do is you need something with measurements on and something to mark with first of all, and you're going to need something to score. So I'm using my stamping trimmer. So first of all, on the short side we need to go to 2 5/8, which is just there, and we just need to make a mark top and bottom. I'm using pencil so that I can go at a later date and rub it out. So 2 5/8 top and bottom, and then we need to turn it that way, and we're going to go to, you always turn your paper to, you know, clockwise. we're going to mark at 1 1/2 inches. Okay, top and bottom, and 4 1/2 inches. And I'm going to do all of the process on, that's not right, no, sorry, ignore me. It's 1 1/2 and 4 1/2, not 2 1/2. 1 1/2 and 4 1/2 a mark. So let me just check that I've done that right. 1 1/2 and 4 1/2. So I've marked them top and bottom. Okay, so then what you need to do is you need to cut those corners off. So you line up from that mark to that mark on your trimmer and you cut it off. And you do that very easily by first of all lining up one and then lining up the second on your trimmer blade in the gusset there that goes all the way down. Once you've got them both lined up, you can, let me just move that, cut them off. Okay, and go around each marking and do the same. I'm going to do all the processes on one sheet of DSP and then I'll go away and do the second, and then I'll come back, and all you do is do the same to the second sheet as I'm doing to this first sheet. Okay, so we're cutting from mark to mark, we're cutting off. So there we go. Okay, so now I can rub those out. Don't need those. I've probably been a bit heavy-handed with pencil there. If you've got a nice light pencil, but you know you want to be able to see it. And then what we need to do is we need to mark the halfway mark between these, which is 1 1/2. So if you measure from here, from this point, and put that at your 1 1/2 mark, okay, which is there, and do it carefully and take a bit of time over it. And then you want to mark top and bottom again. Okay. So we're doing that all the way around, and we're marking top and bottom. Helps you keep it straight if you've got it buttered right up against there. You've got this little lip here to help you, and that helps you keep your paper straight. Oh, 1 1/2. Let me just make sure that's lined up right. Okay, I've done them all. Right, so we've got lines all the way there now. So now what we need to do is we need to score between that line and that line. Then go around that line and that line. So you're not scoring quickly between each line, you're scoring long lines. Okay? I think. Yeah. So now we're scoring. Okay, so put your blade away. So that's that one. And then we're going to score from there to there. So you're scoring long. Don't score, you know, just straight across the point. You're scoring on the diagonal, as it were. Okay. Into that. Just do that again. And then there to there. If you find it easy, you could do that on a scoreboard. I actually find it quite easy to do it on my trimmer here, and just line that point up with the you know, the slot there in your trimmer on there. Okay. And then finally that one to that one. And you'll end up with a lovely star-shaped pattern. Okay, so you've got like a triangle there and a triangle there. Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to, where these triangles overlap, and it overlaps there, we're going to go from that point there outwards to the corner, and we're going to do it on each one. So from that point there outwards, and when you're at home and you're scoring, you'll be able to see that much clearer. Okay, so, and it helps if you line your shape up so that it's straight there, and I'm going to use my score tool. So I'm going from there where these score lines are crossing over, and I'm going up. Okay, so again here, and that score line up. Just do it carefully so you don't slip, and if you're not quite lined up right, adjust it. There we go, that's it. Okay. Let me just get that lined up. There we go. Line that up. Just take a little bit of time over it and get it straight-ish. Okay. Okay. That's that one. I'm going quiet now because I'm concentrating. Okay, outwards. And again, outwards. See, I'm on a roll now. Once you get the knack of it, it's really, really easy. Okay, so we can move that away. And then all we need to do is start and fold and burnish all of these score lines, all of the long score lines. Okay, so that's all of the long ones done. And that one. Yep, that's all of those done. Now all you need to do is with the small score line here, if you just pinch it like that with your finger, it will fold in. So put your finger there, push and pinch. Okay, push and pinch, push and pinch, push and pinch. Okay, and now you can see already how you've got a lovely star shape. So I'm going to just quickly just press pause, and I'm going to do the other piece exactly the same as how I've done this one. Right, so my two halves are done now, and all you do is literally stack one on top of the other. Now I have secured the bottom flaps with fast fuse to help me hold it all together. So you put your little items in, and what you do is when you're putting your box together, you put one point on top of the other, and then on the next point you tuck it inside. So you've got one on the top and one inside. So it all holds together neatly like so, and as you go around you alternate it like that. Okay, as I say, I have attached the bottom ones just with a bit of fast fuse. It just helps you keep the box together. And another thing that I did do while I was off camera was I have added some holes there so you can add ribbon. Okay, so let me see if I can add ribbon without too much fuss, otherwise we'll leave it for another day. One through one hole. The idea here being that I wanted it to be able to hang on a tree. I had it in my head. I come up with these ideas and then I end up faffing for 10 minutes trying to figure out how to do it. Okay. So, you can omit this part. It's just a part that I wanted to do. Hold on a minute, that's not correct. It wants to be through the other way. It wants to be through that hole and up that hole. There we go. Let me just get it the right way. Okay. And attaching those bottom panels there with fast fuse just helps you keep your box together while you faff with your ribbons, and it enables you to be able to open and close it without losing the shape and the consistency of your box. Okay. Now, just to help me for the sakes of the video, I'm going to seal mine shut at the top as well. Otherwise, I just might struggle to stop from going insane. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that. Just carefully tie it in a knot. Makes great Christmas tree decorations as well, I guess. My idea was that it could go on your tree and be a gift as well. So I'm going to use the remainder of my ribbon and just wrap it around my box. Again, it helps keep it together. If you don't want to glue it, you can just tie ribbon around it. So I'm just going to tie that around. I'm not doing it in a bow. I'm just going to do a knot. My hands feel very, very swollen today, so please bear with me. I feel like I've got big sausages on ends of my hands. It's horrible. Horrible feeling. So we've trimmed that down nicely. So now what I've got to decorate it with are these die cuts here, which is from the Lovely Words. And I have pre-cut 3, and I've stacked them one on top of the other, just with little dots of glue. Leave it to dry in and between. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm actually going to emboss. And what I've done is I have an old pot here of clear embossing powder, and I've added glitter to it. And you can do this with a ratio of 2 to 1, I believe it is. I just mix it and up at best. But, you know, the Dazzling Diamonds does go very nicely with the clear embossing powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my dusting thingy on there. And then I'm going to press my layered up die cuts onto my Versamark and just press it in so it gets nice and sticky. Okay, and I can move that out of the way. And then I'm going to add my embossing powder, which has Dazzling Diamonds mixed in with it. As long as you've got more embossing powder than you have glitter, you'll be alright. Otherwise it won't stick. Won't stick. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side. And I'm going to get my heat tool and I'm just going to emboss it very carefully. Just use these little scissors. And just hold it down while I do it. There we go, it's starting to turn, and it will give it a gloss and a sparkle and make that sentiment nice and sturdy as well. Just about cooked, is that? There we go. And what you can do is you can dip it back in and give it a good few coats of the embossing powder, and it will give it a really high shine. I'm not going to do that on video. I'll be here all week. Now I've got these lovely wooden elements which come from the Hearts and Stars, and these are brilliant. I do absolutely love them. And what you can do is you can add those with just some glue. I'm going to use my fine tip glue pen. You do need to wait for them to dry in between, or you know, if you don't have time to wait for something to dry, you could use I suppose you could use glue dots. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm just adding a really small amount there. Okay. All the way around, and that will just stick to my, I just want it over the top actually, just stick on like so. You might need to just be patient and wait for that to dry. It won't dry straight away, okay, but it doesn't take too long. It's quite a quick drying glue. I just need to move that ribbon slightly. There we go. And then the second one. And what you can also do after these have dried, if you want, and if you've got a careful enough hand, you could go over the top of your wooden elements. Once that's dry, you could go over the top with your fine tip glue and put a coat of it on the top, and it will give a little sheen to your wooden elements. Okay. So that's those. And then my friend Sentiment. I'm gonna use the fine tip glue, and I'm just dotting carefully. And I'm going to add that across there like so. And I'll need to hold it and wait for it to dry. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry. I hope you'll give that a try. I hope you like the shape of the box, and I think it's really easy. All the measurements are over on my blog, so go and give it a try. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.